You don't need a new life. You need a new daily rhythm. Because most people aren't suffering from a single massive tragedy. They're suffering from small daily leaks. A thought that spirals. A conversation that drains them. A phone that steals an hour. A craving that turns into regret. A silence they interpret as rejection. A minor setback that becomes a full-day collapse. And then they call it, my personality. Stoicism calls it something else, untrained attention. Here's the contrast that changes everything. The average person wakes up and immediately becomes a target of notifications, moods, other people's expectations, and random events. They react first, think later, and then wonder why they feel anxious, tired, and irritated even on good days. The Stoic wakes up and becomes a gatekeeper. Not of the world, of the self. They choose what enters their mind. They decide what deserves their energy. They treat peace like a resource, not an accident. That's why Stoicism still hits so hard today. Not because it's poetic. Because it's practical. In this video, you're getting 6 simple Stoic habits that make you feel better every day. Not someday. Not after you fix everything. Every day, because the habits are built for the real world, imperfect sleep, difficult people, unexpected problems, and a mind that loves drama. And no, this is not about pretending you don't feel anything. Stoicism doesn't make you numb. It makes you ungovernable. If you're tired of being pulled around by emotions, opinions, and chaos, stay with me. By the end, you'll have a daily blueprint you can actually live. Habit 1. Start the day with control, not consumption. Most people begin their day by entering someone else's world. They open their phone and let the internet set their mood. News, messages, comparisons, someone's highlight reel, someone's panic, someone's urgency. Before they even stand up, they've already lost the first battle, attention. A Stoic does the opposite. They begin by returning to their own mind. The simplest way to do this is a 60-second reset before you touch your phone. Ask yourself 3 questions. What is one thing I can control today? What is one thing I must accept today? What is one thing I will not waste energy on today? This is Stoicism in one breath. Control, acceptance, discipline. You're not manifesting. You're clarifying. Because the mind is like a room. If you let strangers walk in first, your day becomes a mess. If you enter first, you set the order. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You need a first minute that belongs to you. Habit 2. Practice the Stoic pause. Your emotions are fast. Your judgments are faster. That's why you snap, overshare, chase, and regret. The Stoic habit is to insert a pause between stimulus and response. Not a dramatic meditation. A small gap of power. When something triggers you today, an insulting tone, a delayed reply, a mistake, a bad memory, don't immediately react. Label it. Say in your head, this is irritation. Or, this is fear. Or, this is ego. Labeling creates distance. Distance creates choice. Without the pause, you become a puppet. With the pause, you become a person. And here's the part nobody tells you, the pause makes you attractive. Not because you're playing games, but because calm is rare. People trust the person who doesn't leak emotion at every spark. So the next time you feel the heat rise, don't speak. Don't type. Don't explain. Pause. Breathe once. Then decide what a disciplined version of you would do. Habit 3. keep your standards private, and your actions public. A lot of people talk about discipline. They post their goals. They announce their transformation. They explain their philosophy. They turn growth into performance. Stoicism is the opposite. Stoicism is quiet. Epictetus said, in essence, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Because the more you talk, the more pressure you create. You invite opinions. You invite interference. You invite your own ego to perform instead of improve. So here's your habit: do one disciplined thing every day that nobody knows about. Train when you don't feel like it. Study when you could scroll. Save money when you could flex. Apologize when you could defend. Walk away when you could win an argument. This builds a private self-respect that doesn't depend on applause. And when your self-respect is internal, you feel better daily. You stop begging the world to validate your effort. You become your own witness. Habit 4. Do an evening audit, without shame. Most people end the day distracted and exhausted. They fall into bed with the same anxious mind they woke up with. No closure. No learning. No reset. Stoics end the day like strategists. They review. Not to punish themselves, just to sharpen their judgment. Take 2 minutes at night and ask, where did I react instead of respond? Where did I waste energy? Where did I act with courage? Notice the key: one win, one lesson, one adjustment. No drama. No self-hate. Shame is not discipline. Shame is a loop. A calm audit turns your life into a training ground. And when your life becomes training, even bad days create strength. So far you have 4 habits: a morning control reset, the Stoic pause, quiet discipline, and an evening audit. In the next part, we'll add the final 2 habits that tie everything together: a daily practice that hardens your mind without making you bitter, and a habit that dissolves anxiety by design, not by luck. Habit 5. Choose voluntary discomfort, daily. Most people think feeling better every day means avoiding discomfort. They want calm days, easy people, perfect moods, and a life that never challenges them. But that's not how the world works. And the Stoics weren't built for fantasy. They were built for reality. Stoicism teaches a paradox: the quickest path to peace is controlled hardship. Not chaos. Not self-punishment. Controlled discomfort that you choose on purpose, so life can't break you when it chooses discomfort for you. Why does this make you feel better every day? Because anxiety is often the fear of not being able to handle what's coming. Voluntary discomfort proves to your nervous system, again and again, that you can handle more than your mind claims. The habit is simple: one small hard thing daily. Cold shower for 30 seconds. A workout when you want excuses. 10 minutes of focused work with your phone in another room. A walk without headphones. Skipping one impulse purchase. Eating simpler than you want. Telling the truth when a lie would be easier. Every time you do the hard thing on purpose, you train the same inner muscle, self-command. And self-command is the hidden source of daily confidence. Most people try to feel confident first, then act. Stoics act first, then confidence follows. This is why they look unbothered. It's not genetics. It's training. Here's the contrast. A comfort-based person lives on motivation. Motivation comes and goes. So their mood determines their actions. A Stoic lives on principle. Principle stays. So their actions shape their mood. That is how you feel better daily. Not because every day feels good, but because every day you feel capable. Habit 6. Reduce anxiety by obeying the rule of 2 categories. This is the core of Stoic philosophy, and once you understand it, your daily life changes. Everything in your life fits into 2 categories. Things you control. Things you don't. Most suffering comes from mixing them up. You try to control someone's opinion. You try to control the past. You try to control outcomes. You try to control timing. You try to control whether people appreciate you. And every time you do, you pay with stress. Stoicism doesn't tell you to not care. It tells you to care correctly. So the daily habit is a mental sorting practice. When something bothers you, ask, is this inside my control? If yes, take one clean action and move on. If no, release the demand that reality be different, and move on. That sounds too simple, but simple is not easy. The mind loves control. It feels safe. Stoicism replaces fake control with real control. Real control is your effort. Your discipline. Your response. Your character. This is why the Stoic can be calm in a storm. They're not calm because they're lucky. They're calm because they stopped wrestling the ocean and started steering the boat. Now, I want to connect all 6 habits, because this is what makes the script more than a checklist. These habits are a system. Morning control reset gives you the first win. The Stoic pause prevents emotional leaks. Quiet discipline builds private self-respect. Evening audit turns mistakes into training. Voluntary discomfort hardens you without bitterness. The 2-category rule dissolves useless anxiety. Together, they create what Marcus Aurelius described as an inner fortress. And you don't need to be an emperor to build it. You just need repetition. Here's a practical way to implement this starting today without getting overwhelmed. Week 1, do habits 1 and 4 only. Morning control reset. Evening audit. Week 2, add the Stoic pause. You'll notice your day feels longer, calmer, more deliberate. Week 3, add quiet discipline. Pick one private act of discipline and keep it secret. Let it be yours. Week 4, add voluntary discomfort and the 2-category rule. By now, you'll have enough momentum that the harder habits feel natural. This staggered approach matters, because the goal isn't to feel inspired. It's to become consistent. And now we need to address one more contrast that will decide whether you actually change. Some people treat Stoicism as content. They watch videos, feel strong for 10 minutes, then go back to the same reactive life. Other people treat Stoicism as training. They apply one principle and let it reshape their identity. If you want to feel better every day, you must be in the second group. Because daily peace isn't a video. It's a standard. Now, I'm going to tell you something that will sound harsh, but it's honest. You don't need more information. You need more obedience to what you already know. You already know sleep matters. You already know scrolling drains you. You already know chasing validation makes you weak. You already know discipline feels better than regret. Stoicism doesn't give you magical secrets. It gives you a mirror and a spine. And that's why it works. So here's your challenge: for the next 7 days, practice just one habit as non-negotiable. If you need calm, pick the Stoic pause. If you need confidence, pick voluntary discomfort. If you need direction, pick the morning control reset. If you need less anxiety, pick the 2-category rule. If you need growth, pick the evening audit. If you need self-respect, Pick quiet discipline. 1 habit. 7 days. No debate. Because once you prove to yourself that you can keep one promise, you'll start to feel better in a way that doesn't depend on the outside world. And that is the Stoic goal. In the final part, I'll give you a clean closing that locks the identity in place, a simple recap that makes viewers remember the 6 habits, and a comment line you can pin that boosts engagement without sounding desperate. Most people live like their mind is a public street. Anything can enter. Any mood can hijack them. Any comment can ruin their day. Any distraction can steal hours. And then they wonder why they don't feel stable. Stoicism is the decision to stop living that way. It's the daily practice of becoming harder to disturb and easier to respect. Not through aggression, but through self-command. Not through pretending you're fine, but through training your responses until you actually are. So let's lock it in with a simple recap you can remember without notes. Habit 1. Begin the day with control, not consumption. You claim the first minute, so the world doesn't claim you. Habit 2. Practice the Stoic pause. You label the emotion, create distance, and choose your response instead of leaking it. Habit 3. Keep your standards private and your actions public. You stop performing growth and start living it. Habit 4. End the day with an audit without shame. 1 win, 1 lesson, 1 adjustment. That's how you improve without self-hate. Habit 5. Choose voluntary discomfort daily. You do one hard thing on purpose so fear loses its grip and confidence becomes earned. Habit 6. Obey the rule of 2 categories. Control what's yours, accept what's not, and watch how anxiety stops getting fed. If you apply these habits, you won't just feel better. You'll feel clearer, stronger, less needy, less reactive, more focused, more grounded. And the best part is that none of this depends on other people behaving the way you want. It depends on you behaving the way you respect. That's why Stoicism survives every era. Empires fall, technology changes, people disappoint you, plans collapse, but the inner work remains the same: govern yourself. Now here's the final contrast to carry with you. A reactive life feels easier in the moment, but expensive over time. A disciplined life feels harder in the moment, but cheap over time. One creates regret. The other creates peace. You don't need to change everything today. You need to choose one habit and become loyal to it. 7 days. No excuses. Not because you're trying to be perfect, but because you're done being scattered. And if you fall off, don't turn it into a personality. Turn it into data. Adjust. Return. That is Stoic strength. Stoic mode on, if you're choosing one habit today, and write which habit you're starting with.